Hey, what's up, guys? It's Pastor Jeremiah Johnson with the Modern Christian Dads. Sorry, I meant to put this video on Facebook Live the other day and it didn't work for me. So I'm going to redo it. Hopefully you get it this time because I had just something really cool that I wanted to share with you guys. And I don't think you got it. So here we go. I was the other day a big sports guy, right? We're dudes talking news, sports, and God on the Modern Christian Dads podcast. So I'm always looking at sports when I get up in the morning, just checking ESPN.com, see what's going down. And I came across this article the other day that just really blew my mind. And it was about Gerrit Cole. I'm not a big MLB guy. Sorry, I got to get my notes right here. But Gerrit Cole of the signed with the New York Yankees for a 9-year, $324 million contract. Can you believe that? 9 years, $324 million. And this was just after Stephen Strasburg signed a 7-year, $245 million contract. It's like, how are they getting these contracts? And like when I watch MLB or I see MLB highlights, it's like the stands are empty. Where is this money coming from? And so I was like kind of discouraged. I'm like, when I think about how much I make, what I do for a living, I was like, bro, I'm disappointed right now. But guys, I wanted to encourage you with a couple things because we could see stuff like this. I mean, NBA guys, MLB guys, all this money that they're making, and it can be discouraging because it's like, wow, I'm never going to have anywhere close to that. I mean, maybe if I could get a couple $1,000,000 in my life, that would be awesome, right? But I want to give you 2 words of encouragement here, guys. So pay attention, hang with me. You've probably heard some of these before. But the first one is this. It's from Luke chapter 9, verse 25. It says, listen, what good does it do you if you gain everything, if the whole world is in your pocket, but then your own life slips through your fingers and is lost to you? See, guys, another version says, what good is it if a man gains the whole world, yet forfeits his soul? So guys, I want to challenge you guys with this. What are you living for? What are you living for? Not for money, not for fame, not for fortune, but what are we living for? And as modern Christian dads, our goal should be, like, our number one goal is to live for Jesus passionately with everything that we have. That's what we're living for, because this other stuff in the end doesn't matter, right? So thought number 1, what are you living for? What is your passion, your energy, and your effort going into right now? And here's the second one. This one's the parable of the talents. And I'm sure you guys have maybe heard this one as well, but let me read it for you again from the Voice version. It says, this is from Matthew 25:14. This is how it will be. It will be like a landowner who's going on a trip. He instructed his slaves about caring for his property. He gave 5 talents to one slave, 2 to the next, and then 1 talent to the last slave, each according to his ability. Then the man left. Promptly the man who had been given 5 talents went out and bartered and sold and turned his 5 talents into 10. And the one who had received 2 talents went to the market and turned his 2 into 4. And then the slave who had received just 1 talent, he dug a hole in the ground and buried his master's money there. Eventually the master came back from his travels, found his slaves, and settled up with them. The slave who had been given 5 talents came forward and told his master how he turned 5 into 10. Then he handed the whole lot over to his master. The master says, excellent. You've proven yourself not only clever, but loyal. You've executed a rather small task masterfully. So now I'm going to put you in charge of something larger. But before you go back to work, come join my great feast and celebration. Then the slave who had been given 2 talents came forward and told his master how he turned 2 into 4. And he handed all 4 talents to his master. Master said, excellent. You've proved yourself not only clever, but loyal. You've executed a rather small task masterfully, so now I'm going to put you in charge of something larger. But before you go back to work, come join my great feast and my celebration. And finally, the man who had been given 1 talent came forward. Master, I know that you are a hard man, difficult in every way. You can make a healthy sum when others would fail. You profit when other people are doing the work. You grow rich on the backs of others. So I was afraid, dug a hole, and hid the talent in the ground. Here it is. You can have it. The master was furious. The master replies, you are a pathetic excuse for a servant. You have, you have disproved my trust in you and squandered my generosity. You know, I always make a profit. You could have at least put this talent in the bank. Then I could have earned a little interest on it. Take that 1 talent away and give to the servant who doubled my money from 5 to 10. So the second thing I want to say, guys, is what are you doing with what God has given you? What are you living for? And what are you doing with what God has given you? So be challenged, guys, with these 2 things, because Guys, you got talents, you got gifts, you have abilities, you have God stuff inside of you that wants to be released and given to the world. So I'm going to challenge you, modern Christian dads. What kind of modern Christian dad you going to be in 2020, right? Are you going to live for what matters in your life, in your marriage, your family, your kids, in your church, all those kind of things? And secondly, what are you going to do with what God has given you? Thanks for listening, guys, and check out the Modern Christian Dads podcast.